Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alice. We talk about books, we do some lifestyle stuff, vlogs, car vlogs, a little bit of everything. You'll find something that's for you. So if you're looking for someone to stick on in the background while you make yourself a meal, clean your room, do that thing you've been putting off for the longest time, or maybe you just want to listen to me, then consider hitting that subscribe button. It's completely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. But come on in, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody take your seats, please, buckle in for the ride. Let's go. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I feel like we have spoke about this on and off a few times. Today we are doing the ultimate seasonal read Rex. Okay, it's autumn, baby. We're getting that last bit of sun. We're getting the kind of cold breeze, the occasional rainy day, at least in the UK. I'm sorry if it's not autumn for you at the moment, or fall. If you want to call it fall, that's also completely fine. I was raised in England, so I will be calling it autumn. And doesn't the word autumn just sound so like... Anyway, so we have a lot of books today, so we're gonna rapid fire. I'm gonna try to not talk about them for too long, but basically here are some options that I think just give autumnal vibe and would be a great time to read. If you're stuck for something to read in autumn, maybe you want some extra options, or you're not sure, or you've never done seasonal reading before. Seasonal reading is really great in my opinion. It's so cool when you can immerse yourself in the season or the vibe. I just thought I'd give you some options. All right, so pay attention kids, let's do this. I spoke about this book before, so we're going to start with The Queen of Autumn. We're going to do The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a meaty book, okay, so don't be stressed if you don't get into it straight away. It's going to take a little bit of work, but once you're in there and you've got the autumnal vibes, you need those leaves that turn in orange and red, and you just need a little bit of rain every now and then. You want to feel like you're dark academia. See, that's the good autumnal genre, dark academia. And while this isn't completely dark academia, it's definitely got areas in it. It's got other contemporary fiction, other bits and bobs as well. But that is a great vibe, okay? If you're going to read any of them, read this. And maybe start now, because it might take you a little bit of time. But I don't know how fast you are of a reader. But it's got to be done, okay? I've said it once and I will say it many a time. We are in a tight schedule, people. We've only got 3 months of autumn. Get reading. Don't put it off. It's been on your shelf for too long. Go pick it up. Thank you. Then again, we have spoke about this one before. This is my second place autumnal read, right? Same vibe, dark academia. Again, is a bit meatier, but this is the hardback, so I think that the paperback would be a little less intimidating. I just think this is fantastic. It was great. Again, it took me a while to get in. It does have a little bit of an academic feel. I'm trying to get you an example. There are some footnotes, so it does have that academic vibe, but I very much enjoyed it, and this is definitely a dark academia autumnal vibe. You want wind whipping around the streets, like, do you know what I mean? That's what you want. So Babel, take her away. All right, once again, I have said it before, Lord of the Rings. Honestly, I am actually currently listening to this on audiobook, narrated by Andy Serkis, and it's the best thing I've ever done. Absolutely not sponsored, but if you're going to have an Audible free trial, use your credit on that. Listen to it. Honestly, it's fantastic. This is such an autumnal vibe. I mean, the whole story starts in like September, October, journey, everything, and it just feels like you're a part of it, okay? So definitely, I mean, again, commitment. It's a series, but you can just take one book at a time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're currently listening to The Fellowship of the Ring, and I will be listening to the others as well. So you'll have to wait for that video. That's gonna be a while in the making. But Lord of the Rings, defo. Now we're going into some new territory, so we'll take our time. Obviously, you do have spooky season in autumnal reads, but spooky season will be a whole different video. These are some that I think, whilst perhaps they could be a little bit spooky season, I feel like you could just read them at any time in autumn. It doesn't need to be October. So that's just my opinion. You may think differently, but these are what I would recommend. So if you haven't been absolutely made sick of it in English literature, analysing this book, I did not read this for English literature, then go for a little bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a great little story. But yes, this is a good little vibe. Give it a go if you haven't. I feel like it's one of those books that you'd like to read once, you know, one time in your life. nice. So if you've been putting it off, go pick it up, give it a bit more of an autumnal vibe. Okay, this is kind of horror slash classics. Frankenstein, I mean, definitely is a bit of a horror, but again, we're back with their Wordsworth classic. So these aren't actually as long as you think. They're quite small, but they are definitely meaty, so be prepared for that. But again, obviously is a horror book, but I would say good autumnal vibe. Wouldn't necessarily have to be read in October. Obviously bonus, you know, Halloween, Frankenstein, all that vibe, but this is a good autumnal vibe. Then again, back with the horror, we have Dracula. Now, isn't this just the most beautiful edition? It's a Wordsworth classic, so it still has the horrendous writing, but it is a floppy, guys, so could have taken a leaf out the old American book. I love it. Great vibes, and that is just such a beautiful cover, isn't it? Just need to take a second. Again, horror, better read in October, but still a great autumnal read. Next up, we have The Picture of Dorian Gray. Now, confession, I haven't actually read this book yet. It's been on my shelf for a while, and I really want to read it. But it's giving autumnal vibe, and I don't know if I've just picked it up because, you know, it kind of reminds me of The Secret History with the dark cover and the nice writing on it. But it gives me that it would be autumnal vibes. I think it's a bit of a horror, I think. But yeah, so kind of would make sense with the vibe, but it's giving autumnal to me. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I feel like this book would be an autumnal vibe. Okay. So I'm very much excited to give this one a read. Wow. Good times. So definitely we'll have to give this one a read. Then we have the random section. So starting off strong, this is a book I read a very long time ago. It's called Serpent and Dove. Now, would I necessarily recommend this over some of the other books I've spoke about? No. However, if this is more your vibe, then I've got something for you as well. This is a story about a witch and a witch hunt. Okay. I think we know where this is going. Alright, I think we know. Now, I can't remember how particularly spicy it was. I feel like it had some in there. And it was quite interesting at the time. I do actually have the second book. There's 3 in the series. I do have the second book on my shelf. I read this book in 2022 and I haven't read the sequel yet. Not for the fact that I have no desire to read it. I just have a stronger desire to read other things. However, I wanted to give a little bit of something for everyone. Now, this book actually has a... what's that called? A review from SJM, Miss Sarah J. Maas herself, alright? A brilliant debut full of everything I love. So, it has got to be done. It was quite cringy, I will be honest. It was quite cringy, but I feel like you'd know what you're getting into. And there was a little bit of like witchy, bit of gore, a bit of horror vibes. No, it's definitely not horror, but it has that kind of alright, so give this one a go. Have a little look up, give it a little read. This one doesn't actually have a blurb, so it says, a witch and a witch hunter thrust into holy matrimony. There was only one way such a story could end: a stake and a match. Bound as one to love, honour, or burn. There you go. See, enjoy. Next up, confession, I haven't read this book yet, but it just gives autumn. Legends and Lattes. Oh, it's like a bit of fantasy, nothing too crazy, and they all like a good old hot drink and a pastry, I think. This is just giving autumn to me. I mean, look at the cover. Doesn't that feel like something you want to pick up and read? It's been on your shelf for a while now. Go pick it up. I actually got this in a charity shop. Whether bound by ancient magic, delicious pastries, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become something deeper than food could have ever imagined. See, look, doesn't this just sound great? This gives me autumn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I shall be reading this hopefully this autumn. I've got to make time, but good job. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about this. This is a romance book, and this is a wild romance book. This is called Dead Romantic. I read this last year, and I very much enjoyed it, but was also kind of like, what on earth's going on? And I think this is a great autumnal read. It's giving like spoopy season. Sorry, that was horrendous. But you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's not actually scary in any way, but it's kind of giving a like, ooh, does that make sense? I feel like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, basically it's a love story between a ghost and a woman. I mean, what does that say? What does that say, eh? There you go. Honestly, I very much enjoyed this book. This book has a review by Ali Hazelwood, so, you know, gotta be doing something, right? But this is for my more romance readers, okay? So pick that up. Right, I feel like I really did rapid fire that, so I hope you found something in here that would suit you. I tried to give a little bit of everything for everyone, you know. We've got adventure, we've got a little bit of fantasy, we've got a little bit of romance, a bit of classics, a bit of horror, a little bit of a mix. inexorable. Hopefully you find something in there. Give it your best go, alright? Give it your best shot. Let me know what you read or what you've already read in the comments down below. And I hope you start enjoying the concept of seasonal reads, because once you start and you see these certain books and you think, yes, that is exactly that vibe, you can't stop. It just suits it so well. So give it a go and I will hear from you soon. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Have you subscribed? Thank you very much. And as always, until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye! This is a story about... Oh, my wrists are not strong enough.